Hey everyone, we wanted to come together and let you know about an exciting new change that GitHub made in terms of the UI when it comes to the enterprise organization. Now this seems like a very simple change that GitHub announced, but if you've been working inside of GitHub organizations and working within the UI for some period of time, most likely you're like me and you are dealing with where to find the various settings inside of an organization inside of the enterprise. So when we're looking at this, I would always go into the enterprise and I would start clicking around and say to myself, why can't I find anything? Why am I always clicking around and looking into the settings menu and where is the billing configured and how do I set these? And it was always sort of confusing. Not to mention that the old organization structure had everything inside of the left-hand navigation versus all across GitHub, you had everything in this horizontal bar towards the top. So it seems like a very simple change, but again, if you've been working inside of a GitHub enterprise for a while, this is certainly a welcome change because it just makes things easier to find. So this is what GitHub announced back in March, that now we have this horizontal bar as part of our enterprise organization, as part of our enterprise, and now it matches that structure that we have inside of GitHub. So this is very, very nice. So if we jump over into our enterprise, you can see that this left-hand navigation is now gone, and now we have this across the top. I won't lie to you, when I started to go into the enterprise, this was changed before it was announced, and then you started to look and said, oh, this looks different. So then they posted in their change log that this has been changed across all the organizations or the enterprises, which is great. So some of the things, of course, are the same. We still have access to our various organizations, and then we can see our people. So none of that has changed. But I think one of the biggest things, which is really, really nice, is now all of the settings are in one place. So now we can actually see all the various settings across to the enterprise. We can see those in one place. It's very logical where this now exists. So that's wonderful. But my favorite is billing and licensing. So when you think of billing and licensing, you think of them as one spot. Before, this was across different things, and you had to go through the various menus inside of settings to be able to see some of this. And none of it ever really made sense of where this was. This is wonderful. So now we can get a very quick overview in terms of how much our meter usage is, what that bill is. We can take a look not only as usage, but then how much are we being licensed for. So again, all of that ties back to how much you're paying for things. So all of that information in one place. So we can be able to create our cost centers. So if we're billing different places, different cost centers across the organization, we can set those up, can set up budget alerts just like you can do within the Azure subscriptions. And all of it is so much more logical than it was before. So I'm really excited about this change. It just makes things finding billing and licensing and setting so much easier in one place. Not to mention also the compliance information that was always in the same place, but then all of our policies. So this is great. So this is always a conversation with enterprises in terms of where do you set these policies? Do you have them on your enterprise? Do you have them in your orgs? A lot of times it's a one-to-one where you have one enterprise, one org. As you grow that out in really big organizations, there's always a question of where that's set up, where it should be set up. Outside of the scope of this conversation, but happy to talk about that. If that is something you're interested to talk about, leave a comment down below and we can totally start to talk about where you put those enterprise or organization policies. But seeing them in one spot, that's exactly what we needed. So it seems like a very simple change to be able to see all the UI components in a similar fashion, organized and grouped in how we think about them logically, but I just thought it was a really powerful change. GitHub, again, listening to user feedback to be able to make things easier to find, easier to manage, and easier to use. So thanks for joining us today. As always, subscribe to the channel. We'd love to have you as we build DevOps together, like this video, and leave a comment down below. Are you using enterprise accounts? Where are you putting your enterprise or organizational policies? And has this change been nice for you? And are there other changes you would like to see as part of the UI? So thanks for joining, and we'll see you in the next video.